Well, hello. It's a pleasure to be back. Tuesdays at 2 p.m. Eastern Time, 11 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, 7 p.m. British Time, and 8 p.m. in Europe. Tuesdays at 2 is for you to ask me questions and also to learn a different topic each week on career management. This week, the topic is I get so few hits on my LinkedIn profile. I get quite a few questions regarding that. So I thought I'd educate you on why you're probably not getting the hits. Please ask questions. They don't have to be pertinent to the topic today, but I'm more than happy to answer any questions on executive career management. Who am I? My name is Martin Buckland, and I call myself an executive career management practitioner. So I manage and I advance the careers of senior executives across the world, EMBA, so Executive Master of Business Administration, candidates and graduates, and I'm also a global expert in the mining profession because the backbone of our economy, where I am here in Canada, is mining. So I can see some questions coming in, so that's good. I will answer them in a couple of minutes, but I want to get right into the topic because LinkedIn is going to be your best friend to manage your career. I don't know what we did without LinkedIn all those years ago, but now career management, job search is so much easier. I'm an addict on LinkedIn. I call myself a self-proclaimed LinkedIn junkie. I'm always on LinkedIn. People can connect with me faster on LinkedIn than they can through email. But I teach it. I'm a practitioner of LinkedIn. So I'm just going to cover the 64,000 feet topic today on why you're getting so few hits on your LinkedIn profile. Many reasons. I'll go through the main reasons as this Tuesdays at 2 unfold. So as I say, LinkedIn is a very important tool. If you aren't on LinkedIn, you are committing career suicide. I'm very realistic. I say it as it is. You have to be on LinkedIn, but you also have to be active on LinkedIn. Every day I cruise through so many people's LinkedIn profiles because they ask me to. I do free LinkedIn audits. More than happy to do an audit for you. 20 minutes of my time. I go through it from top to bottom, say it as it is. But they're just basic. They're like the skeleton. The more stuff, the more text, the more details you put in your LinkedIn profile, the better it's going to be for you because Google will pick it up, and Google can be your best friend in this game of LinkedIn. But also executive recruiters and people wanting to find talent just like you. The chances of you being found if you have a very basic profile are lowered. You want to be up there. You want to get the maximum impact, the maximum number of hits. So I see so many LinkedIn profiles, very basic. The skeleton, you need to fill it in. It gives you a ton of information, a ton of different sections. So I have a table here, which I'll just give you a couple of samples here. So the headline, as recently or last year, went up from 120 characters to 220 characters. Well, that right out. Get to a maximum of 220 characters. Your about section, which is a very crucial sales point, has gone up from 2,000 to 2,600. I have a whole long list of all the different sections that the number of characters that LinkedIn allows you. Try and maximize all those LinkedIn characters. Fill your LinkedIn profile from top to bottom. It's like an SEO, search engine optimization. The more text, the more keywords, the more buzzwords you have in there, the more opportunities will come your way. An executive recruiter or an HR professional may be looking for your talent right now. They use it a lot. It's one of their main tools to hunt down talent. You need to be found, but you need to be found at the top, not at the bottom. You need to be found fast. So some of these tips I'm sharing with you today will take you from here up to the top or close to the top. Bearing in mind that LinkedIn, as of today, had 744 million members. So Google will be your best friend. The more you put in there, the better it's going to be. Now, here is another tip. If you don't have a picture, and by a picture I mean a professional picture in suitable attire, not your full standing, but from up here on up would be is very, very necessary because it's a professional image. I'm not interested in pictures with you hugging your baby, your spouse, or a recent fishing trip catch. I am interested in a professional picture. So make sure you have a professional picture. You don't need to go to a professional photographer today. You can get somebody to take a picture on your cell phone. The advent of cell phones and the quality is pretty damn good. But make sure you have a picture because that helps in snagging intrigue. They're not going to look at somebody who's just got that vacant circle in that picture section. They want to see you. But also, this is the crucial element in this. Google, as soon as you put your picture on LinkedIn, will give you a 1400% uplift in algorithms visits to your LinkedIn profile. Bearing in mind that the Google algorithms are going across your profile all the time in thousands and thousands, the whole web, every single page. You want to get the maximum of Google for free. Speaks to itself. So have a professional picture on your LinkedIn profile. Number 2, you also need to go and customize your LinkedIn URL, your LinkedIn address. How can you tell if you haven't? Well, you probably got numbers and letters or a combination, either full numbers or full letters or a combination of the two after your name. That tells me that was the default. That's what they gave you, LinkedIn gave you when you signed up. So you need to go and customize it. It takes you 2 minutes, just like putting a picture on. It takes you another 2 minutes. Why should you go and do that? Because it's far more professional. Plus, Google again will give you a 400% uplift, 400% uplift to your LinkedIn profile. So think about it. You put your picture on, you customize your LinkedIn URL. Just by spending 5 minutes maximum, you are going to elevate your Google algorithm by 1800% for 5 minutes work. That is the best ROI you're going to have. Plus, in the eyes of career decision makers hunting for you right now on LinkedIn, you're going to be elevated and they're going to be more enticed, more seduced to look at your fully complete LinkedIn profile and maybe give you a call if they've got a vacant job or they're looking for talent. So make sure you have a picture, make sure your LinkedIn URL is customized. Connections, as I said, 744 million plus connect or members on LinkedIn. Now don't go and connect with just anybody and everybody. LinkedIn is a very defined page. I am very, very careful on who I connect with because I don't want to go and connect with everybody. I have a unique audience that I want to connect with. So don't just go and connect with everybody. But if you've got under 500 connections, that is a red flag too. So you need to have a minimum of 500 and be very prudent, be very careful on who you connect with. I turn away each day many people who want to connect with me because they're just not in my audience. It's not that I don't want to connect with them, but they're just not in my audience because I'm hitting that magic any day now. I'll be hitting that magic 30,000 plus 30,000 plus followers. So I've got a huge following, but it's taken me a lot of time to get all those connections, but they're all within my audience, and I can share and they can share with me. So having less than 500 is not good for your profile to be found. So have more than 500, but don't just because I'm saying so on this Tuesdays at 2. Go on LinkedIn after this webinar and just go and connect with anybody and everybody. That doesn't do you justice, doesn't do them justice, and it's a very false balance. You won't have a good membership or connection. So make sure you're very prudent in who you connect with. If you're going to apply, and I've said this many times on Tuesdays at 2, if you're going to apply to ABC company, you need to start following people off the hiring line in that particular company and start networking with them, because they can tell you all the stuff that's going on in that company, or even people who've recently left that company. So connect with people, but be very prudent. So limited number of connections doesn't work. Get beyond that magic 500. So let's go to the questions. Anybody got any other further questions? Sorry, Martin, I must decline. I'm called to a client. Oh, okay. Thank you very much for your informative tips last week, as I followed them to the point last week. Good job. Thank you, Holly. So anybody got any questions? Keep them coming because I'm here for you. I can answer them. Anything on career management. I'm really passionate about helping you manage and advance your career. So let's move on to the next bit. So zero or limited activity. Now this really gets my the hairs on the back of my neck up. You need to be active on LinkedIn. It's a platform for you to market yourself to your audience and to the rest of the world. So you need to be active, not passive. If I was a recruiter and I see you haven't been active on LinkedIn for the last 6 or 7 months, I'm going to think, well, this person is not really serious about managing their career. There is so much you can do. Let me give you some tips. You can actually publish articles on LinkedIn. I would suggest you do that because that gets you a high ranking again in Google. But you can also create content separate from LinkedIn. So say, for instance, you have your own website, you can create a blog or something, and then you can put that on LinkedIn. You could put it on other social media. You're helping to market yourself as an expert or an authority in that particular topic. So create content and then comment on other people's comments, some of your members, some of your peers, your connections. Comment on their posts and then share. So sharing. Most industries have industry-related magazines. So if you're in the supply chain, for instance, there's a whole wealth of supply chain magazines and websites. And if you see an article or a blog on one of those and you think this is really intriguing and you want to market yourself as an expert, you could put that, you can share that on LinkedIn there's normally a little button, LinkedIn, Facebook, Twitter. You can share it on all those platforms and then ask a leading question. This is a really interesting article on inventory control or demand planning or asset management or whatever. What are you thinking, or what are your thoughts? So you're provoking some conversation. Get dialogue. It's a communications and a networking platform to market yourself as an authority on LinkedIn. So I see people who haven't been active for a long, long, long time, and then suddenly they become active. So what I do is I pick up the phone if they're my client and I say, "Oh, hi Joe, how are you? It's Martin Buckland. I haven't seen you on LinkedIn for a long time, but I've just seen you twice in the last 2 or 3 days. What's up? Are you terminated? Are you in career transition?" And there's often a pause, a deathly pause at the other end. They're thinking, how does he know? Well, I know because you haven't been on LinkedIn for a long time. And there we are. You're now starting to be active because you're activating your job search. You're using LinkedIn as a platform to market yourself as an authority. That really shakes people. That thinks, oh my gosh, I should have been on LinkedIn a long time ago. I should have been active even when I'm gainfully employed. So some more questions coming in. Let's have a look at these. So George, hi George. So just an observation, with the terrible HR follow-up occurring these days, it seems there is a reluctance for new contacts to engage in LinkedIn. Not insurmountable, but the percentile of a successful connection are much lower than it may have been. That's a good question. That's a great comment there. So let me read that back again. It comes from George. And so just an observation, with the terrible HR follow-up occurring these days, it seems there is a reluctance for new contacts to engage in LinkedIn. Not insurmountable, but the percentile of a successful connection are much lower than it may have been. I'm interested that you're seeing that. I am seeing bit the opposite way. I'm seeing more engagement now as people, and we're in a huge transition globally after COVID. People are leaving and leaving their jobs, maybe taking a break, and then going back into the workforce and whatever. I'm actually seeing quite an uptick in engagement and in communication by the people I'm connected with anyway. But yeah, you can't always get an HR professional or an executive recruiter to engage in dialogue with you. That's sadly not on the cards all the time. Very rarely do they instantly get back to you, and sometimes you have to be a bit more persistent. But that can be very tough. So that's another. There's George again. Let me just put on my glasses. So I have been persistent in my opinion. I am specifically discussing invites in reaching out to new desired contacts. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So yeah. Not everybody wants to connect with you. They all have their own unique audience. Just like I said a few minutes ago, I might not want to connect with several people because they're not in my defined audience. So you can always try and send them an email if you're a member of the premium. If you have the premium, and we'll talk a little bit about that in a couple of minutes. If you have the premium, you get more emails. So you might like to try the in-mail and test the water. If I connect with you, will you connect with me? I'm looking at a job at ABC company. I notice you work there, or you currently work there. Can we have a conversation and can we connect? Or you can maybe get their email, their corporate email, and you can get the syntax of their corporate email by going on various websites. I would suggest you try it that way. Yeah, I know it can be, the whole career management and definitely job search can be very, very frustrating. Not everybody is going to want to connect with you, even though they should be. We're in a networking society because the bulk of the jobs today are hidden, and they are leads found through networking. So hopefully that sort of answers your question. If it doesn't, come back to me in the comments. I'm more than happy to pursue that a little bit further. So zero activity or limited activity is a big red flag, both for Google, and that means you are going to get less hits, plus the engagement you're going to get for people who actually look at your profile and want to see what you're talking about, what to see, what you're sharing, what you're publishing, etc. So make sure you're active. Now, if you're in career transition, I would suggest you try and post 5 different things a week, maybe more. But if you're not in transition, I would say you post twice, maybe 3 times a week, but always show your face on LinkedIn. Doesn't matter whether you're gainfully employed or you're unemployed in career transition. Another hindrance to your profile being found is you don't have the buzzwords, the keywords that are pertinent to you. Because if I was searching for you right now, if I was searching for George, I'd be typing in a certain amount of keywords, of buzzwords, industry skill specific buzzwords. And if he hasn't got those buzzwords, he's not going to be found. So you get a maximum of 50 keywords. And those top 3 in that white section under the keywords section, the endorsements and keywords, are the 3 that you want to be recognized for, your top 3. And then the rest, the other 47, you can have it in any particular order, but fill it right out. Whereas when I write a resume, the maximum I have is sort of 21 buzzwords, but you can chop and change those. But you can't chop and change them all the time on your LinkedIn. So play a game with yourself. When you're writing your LinkedIn profile, think about, well, if I was looking for my profile, I didn't know me, what business, functional, industry specific buzzwords would I type in to have my LinkedIn profile come out? So take that on board. Don't just have 8 or 10 or 20. Fill it right out. It's free. So fill it out. All the section, the buzzword, the keyword, the industry related keywords. Now, here's another bug of mine, and it's going to inhibit you. It's going to lower your number of hits, is keep it current. Some people haven't been on LinkedIn for 18 months, 2 years, 3 years, and they've had maybe 1 or 2 other jobs. And now their LinkedIn profile is so outdated. Keep it current. Keep it active. So hopefully that will trigger you in to updating your LinkedIn profile. Keep it current and fill it right out. Here's another question coming from George. So let me take a look here. When HR is not engaging with a talent pool, they need to consider another career. Whenever I hired, I always got back to each person I personally interviewed. I would demand the same of any HR team I am working with. But recent experiences have indicated the basic minimum is not being achieved. Unfortunately, I agree with you totally. You say this is my rant for the day. Thanks for ongoing feedback and insights, Martin. I'm actually starting a new live stream in a few weeks' time, and it's called Career Coaches Rant. And it's on a Saturday morning. Stand by for that. And one of the topics that I'm talking about, I have 20 topics I'm going to kick off initially, is that. And I totally agree with you, George. It's courtesy. Courtesy costs nothing. But I also know how they work at the other end, sitting behind their desk, wherever they are, whether they be in their home office or whether they be in their office, their corporate office. Executive recruiters and HR professionals like you and I, they only have a certain number of hours in a day. And if they've got a huge talent pool, they can't call everybody, and they may have several recruitments going on at any one time. A good executive recruiter probably has up to 15 recruitments going at any one time. It's just not feasible to call everybody. But I'm with you. Courtesy costs nothing. Yeah, that's one of my upcoming rants, my career coaches rant, which is coming out very shortly. I'll be announcing that on social media very, very shortly. So keep it current. Keep your LinkedIn profile current. Have it up to date. If it's way out of date, what's that going to tell? The first impressions I'm going to get if I was a recruiter looking for talent like you is going to be very negative. Remove all those red flags, remove that negativity, and make it enticing. Fill it right out. Then you need to, and then people don't become members of groups. Now, this is very, very important. So many people don't even know about groups because it falls right down the bottom. But groups are a good venue on LinkedIn for you to broadcast exactly who you are. And there's millions of groups. If there isn't a group for you, when you go in the group search engine, create one and become a leader, and you become an authority and you're regarded already. So create a group. So if you're in Toronto, or if you're in London, UK, and you're talking about FP&A, financial planning and analysis, I bet there is a group in Toronto and in London on financial planning and analysis. If you are in career transition, announce yourself to that group. Say, hello, my name is Martin Buckland. I'm a leader in financial planning and analysis. I'm currently in career transition. I'm looking around for my next opportunity. Those people in there can help you. If there's 900 people in that group, there's 900 potential leads. So come on, fill your LinkedIn profile right out and be active. It's there for you. It's there for you right now. So as we wrap this up, be frequent on LinkedIn. Don't just disappear and then come back when you're in career transition. I told you that story just a few minutes ago. You need to be consistent. So post, create content, and share. Fill your LinkedIn profile from top to bottom. The more text you put in there, the more opportunities will come your way. Because I bet for everybody watching today live and everybody watching this repeat broadcast, there is an executive recruiter looking for you somewhere in the world. So it's a platform to market yourself. Now, if you want some extra kudos, some extra points, I would suggest that you upgrade to the premium. It gives you extra bells and whistles. It also raises your Google platform. My premium comes due today. Got that little notice, but it's well worth the investment. I make a lot of it. You will make a lot of it, of that premium. So use it. I would suggest you definitely upgrade to that premium. So anybody got any questions? I'm here for you. Don't think any question is stupid, because it's not. So LinkedIn user, hi Martin, any advice on writing a good headline on LinkedIn? That's a great question. So let me repeat that again. Hi Martin, any advice on writing a good headline on LinkedIn? This is where you can hit them between the eyes. You can astound them. You can entice them. You can get them to make them want to pick up the phone and give you a call. So this is your opportunity to sell. Straight away, sell. Remember, if you are in career transition, you are selling yourself. You're nothing to do with finance. You're nothing to do with supply chain. You are selling yourself. So make it a sales proposition. So you get a certain number of characters to sell yourself. Try and fill those characters right out. 220 characters. Don't go to 200. Get 219, 220. Play around with the words in Word and then cut and paste it into LinkedIn. This is your chance to wow them instantly. And then they want to read the rest of your fully complete profile. So hopefully that helps. This is your sales proposition. This is where you are going to nail them. Get them to give you a call. Entice them, because recruiters, as I say, are waiting for you, are calling, are looking for people, talent right now, and we are in an amazing hiring period. Probably one of the best I've seen in my 26 years. We're coming out of COVID, and every country I work in right now across the world, hiring is good. So let's have a look at another one. Another question here. Yvette, is it possible to have English and French LinkedIn versions? No, sorry, you can either have one or the other. You can't have both. So yeah, that's I've just been looking at that. It frustrates me when somebody's got it in another language, because I can barely get by in English, let alone in the other language. I put my hands up to that. But so I'm looking for looking through profiles, and I see them in another language. English is the business language across the world. So I would suggest, I don't want to upset anybody in the culture and whatever, but I would suggest you really focus on having an English profile to get the maximum number of hits. But a great question. But sadly, no, you can only have it in one language or the other. But there's not just English and French, there's other languages. So anybody got any other questions? Keep them coming. It's not just to do with LinkedIn, although LinkedIn is very, very important to you. You need to have it. If you're not on LinkedIn, you're committing career suicide. So anybody got any other questions? Been some really good questions today. And rants. I love rants. Yeah. So if you have any other questions, you can always shoot me a message after, or go on my email and shoot me a message on email, or go on LinkedIn and shoot me a message on LinkedIn. I would suggest, if you like this and you want to learn a lot more about career management, please go to my YouTube channel and press the subscribe button and the bell button, where you will be notified of all the future videos as they're filmed and produced and launched on my YouTube channel. I'm getting quite a big YouTube channel. So go to my YouTube channel and press the subscribe button and the bell button, where you will be notified of all the future videos. I would also like to offer you a free, no obligation resume critique. If there's anybody got any questions about their resume, you only get one kick of the can. I'm more than happy to help you through that. Let me give you my email here. Oh, didn't go. Guess I need to put the cursor in. So anybody got any further questions? I'm more than happy to answer them while I'm online. So there we go. There's my email. Tell me you were watching my session, my Tuesdays at 2, and I'll be happy to give a call to you, and we can spend 20-30 minutes together where I go through your resume from top to bottom. I'm also more than happy to give you a free LinkedIn audit too. There again, I go from it top to bottom. So unless we got any more questions, thanks for your attending today. Hopefully you'll be back next week when my topic will be episode number 63, Job Search Myths. Ricardo, thanks for coming on. I hope you just got one snippet. If everybody gets one snippet of information, that makes me happy. So next week's topic is Job Search Myths. So unless we have any more questions, I'm going to wrap Tuesdays at 2 up this week, and I will see you back here at the same time, 2 p.m. Eastern Time, next Tuesday, when my topic will be Job Search Myths. Have a great week. Enjoy the last day of summer and the first day of fall come autumn.